Today is the appearance day of Lord Varaha. Varaha in Sanskrit means boar, or in the common language, what we know as a pig. So the moment we hear this, the Supreme Lord, or God, appeared in the form of God, immediately many of us might feel, what is this? Why should God come in the form of a boar or a pig, the form of the pig? Parikshit Maharaj asked this question in Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukadeva Goswami. Jigupsya Rupam. Jigupsya means not very pleasing, because we see what pig does in this world. It roams around everywhere in the filthy places, and the activities of the pigs are not very appreciable. So when we know that kind of a background, so we get a doubt why God comes in this form and what kind of religion it is that worships God as pig. So in the Western philosophy, they accuse this kind of a behavior or this kind of an understanding of God as zoomorphism. Zoomorphism. Zoo means in Latin language animal. Morphism means ascribing the animal form on God and trying to bring down that pure supreme God to some animal form and worship the God as an animal, like the pig, or like Hanuman, like monkey, or Narasimha, like lion. This is a degraded conception of God or religion according to Western idea of God. Today we will understand what is the form of the God. First of all, is there a form of the God? Is God has form or God formless? Most of the religion in the world except God is formless. God has no form. According to them, God is so unlimited. The moment you ascribe a form to God, then it limits the God to that form. You're limiting the unlimited God to that form. So then now God has become limited God. So then God, when the moment becomes limited, then how can it is God? Because God is unlimited. The moment you make the God limited, then it cannot be God. So this is the logic that people think that God should be formless, because they think that form limits the God. Now when we say God doesn't have the form, isn't it you're also limiting the God, that God cannot have a form? That means God has one limitation. What is that? God cannot have a form. So by saying that God doesn't have a form or God cannot have a form, you are also saying that God is limited. God is so great, but he cannot have form. That means now you limited God, that he cannot have form. So in this logic, having form also is limitation according to them. Not having form is also a limitation according to those who think that God should have form. And those who think that whether God has form or not has form, what is that form? Definitely not the form of a human being, not the form of some animal, not the form of some bird like Garuda. What is this? You're putting some form of a bird on the God, and now it is say that God is like a bird, God is like an animal, God is like a human being. What's going on here? Who is God? While we are discussing all these things, some people may even ask this question, does God even exist? Okay, you're all wasting time whether God has form, God doesn't have form. Right? This is only after accepting God exists. Now some people even ask the question, does God even exist? So when people ask this question, the problem with this question, does God exist, is that the question itself is wrong. It shows that the person who is asking this question does God exist, doesn't know what is God. That is why they're asking this. It is like asking, is circle circular? If somebody asks, is circle circular? That itself shows that you do not know what is a circle. Because if you know what is a circle, you will not ask this question whether circle is circular. It is called circle because it is in circular form. Isn't it? So that means the person who asked this question, we have to reverse that question and ask them. It is not the whether God exists or not, because your question itself is wrong. You tell what is your definition of God. First you tell what is your understanding of God, then you ask this question. Whether God exists or not exist. Because according to Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, does God exist means the entire existence is because of the God. As I said, is circle circular? It has no meaning. It is called circle because it is circular. Now your question is either whether circle is circular. Like that, does God exist means you are existing, no? Your existence is because of God. Now how can you ask this question, does God exist? If God did not exist, you would have not existed. It is like somebody asking, did parents ever exist? Did parents ever exist? The very reason you are asking today this question itself proves that your parents exist. Your parents exist. Because if they did not exist, you would have not come into existence. If you would have not come into existence, then you would have not even asked this question. That means it is totally a question totally based on the wrong foundation. It's from the wrong foundation this question is coming, right? So now somebody may even ask, okay, why can't science prove the existence of God? It is because, see, finally when you say God is the ultimate reality, absolute truth. Truth means reality. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param. Param satya. Ultimate truth or ultimate reality. Now, the science is also trying to understand the reality. The spiritualist or those who follow religion, they are also trying to understand what is reality. But both of them are trying to understand the reality through different process at different scale. The method that the science employs to understand the reality is totally different. Their approach of understanding the reality is a material approach. So they can only understand the material reality. Because God is not matter or God is not material, so when you use that methodology, you will not be able to understand the God. Because your method or the procedure or the instrument that you are using in the science is all meant to understand only material reality of the reality. But the reality is not just the material reality. There is something beyond the material reality. The spirituality or the religion, their approach of understanding the truth or the reality is a spiritual method. Is a spiritual process to understand the ultimate reality or param satya. Param satya. It is like you take some white powder and very fine powder like rangoli powder you take. And then you also take some charcoal and crush it, make it a very fine powder. It becomes black. And when you mix both, then what you see is a gray like ash color. Because now it is mixture of black and white. When you mix black and white, what is visible to is gray color. But that is what visible to our eyes. Now take the same that powder, put it under the microscope. And when you see, will you still see the gray powder there? What will we see? We will see the particles of the white and particles of black. We are not seeing any gray color item there. There is no gray color at that level. That means, what are we seeing? What is the reality? Is the reality Gray powder or the reality separate white and black granulars? What is the reality? Both are reality. Gray color is also reality at one scale. When you go to micro level, at that level, what is the reality? White granular and black granular. The reality depends on from what scale you're observing. In the quantum physics, if you study quantum physics, if you go to Google and type this, you will see observed reality depends on the observer, they say. Observed reality depends on the observer. From what level are you observing the reality? Because at every level the reality changes. At every level the truth, the truth appears differently. So from the material level, when you see the reality, you will see one level of reality. And when you see from the spirituality, you will see another level of reality. So why science cannot prove the existence of God is because it is like they are seeing the absolute truth, Satyam Param, or the God, at a certain level of scale called material scale. From the material scale, you will not be able to see this. Like from far away when you see, you will see gray color powder. But when you go deep inside, under microscope, you will see separate white and separate black grains. So both look differently, a different scale of observation. So from the material science observation, it may appear like God is not there because they are not able to find. When you go under microscopic, like how there is no more gray powder. You ask, no, I am seeing gray powder, but somebody is seeing through the microscope, they will not see any gray powder. Both are correct because both are seeing a different level of scale. So material science says we are not able to find God because God is not material, God is spiritual. Right? So some skeptist, not scientist till today has never told whether God exists or God doesn't exist. They have not told any of this conclusion. Neither they have told that God exists, nor they have told that God doesn't exist. But there are some skeptists. They have misappropriated this kind of information and they have propagate the lies everywhere that science says God doesn't exist. Because to say that God doesn't exist, that means you have concluded that God never existed or God doesn't exist. But science says that we have not come to any conclusion. And it is beyond our scope, or probably that is not what we are trying to figure out also. We are figuring out some law of nature. We are figuring out how this world works. This is what we are figuring out. We are not figuring out whether God exists or not exist. Right? So that is why science cannot prove the existence of God, because that is not within the scope of science observation. So we understood how when people ask the question, does God exist? It means they do not even know what is God, because God is the basis of existence. God is the basis of every existence in this world. He's Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the basis of our existence. So if God did not exist, you don't even ask this question today, because you would have not come into existence. Anadir Adihi Govinda Adihi. Adi means the origin, the source. Like asking whether my parents existed. No, because they are your source. If they did not exist, you would have not come into existence. Because you exist, that itself proves that your parents existed. Like that you exist itself proves that God exists. Right? So then, okay, God exists. Does God have form? If you say God does not have form because the form limits the God, then you are saying that by not having the form, God has become limited. If you say God has form, then you are limiting that God to form. Actually, this comes the misunderstanding that God has material form, because the material form limits the God. But does God have material form? No. God has spiritual form which is transcendental, which is beyond the idea of the matter. You see, what is the problem with the matter? Matter means, like, for example, I am in this body, my soul is in this body, right? That means my soul is limited to this body. I am not outside of this body. So they think the moment you say God is Varaha, God is Narasimha, God is Krishna, oh, now the God becomes limited to that form. So this is the misunderstanding. But the reality is that God is not limited to that form. We see in the case of Lord Krishna as a baby, when he was in the form of a baby, he performed the activities which are beyond the capacity of the baby. Like, for example, the Putana came to kill. As a small baby, can you kill a demon like Putana? Is it possible? So that means the God, Krishna, he acted in a manner which is beyond the form of the baby form. We all know, we were also once upon a time baby, right? We could not do any of such activities, neither we can see anyone else doing such. That means the baby form never limited the power of the God, activities of the God. That means God is unlimited, whichever form he is in, whether he is in baby form or is in a young form, is grown up form, it never limited the God. That we can see in the activities of Lord Krishna. As baby, as a young boy, he lifted, Govardhan hill, which is huge mountain. So who in the age of 7 years lift the mountain? So that means the form of the God never limits the God. So that itself should give us the confidence that God can have the form which doesn't limit the God. God remains unlimited despite having form. Then next comes the question, okay, somehow we accept, okay, God can have the form and still remain unlimited. Then which is that form? Then comes the question, then why God is having a form like this? Like some animal, like some bird? No, that is not. God doesn't become animal because he takes the form of an animal. That is a misunderstanding. God doesn't become a human being because he is in the form of a human being. Like, for example, Prabhupada gives his example, the prime minister or a president, for some function or for whatever reason, he goes to the prison house, maybe to celebrate Independence Day, or maybe to see what is the facility, is it everything taken care or not and all. So he has come. Now he has come. Now all the prisoners in the jail, they are thinking, oh, see, he is a new prisoner. And what is their logic? Because you are inside the prison. So anybody is inside the prison is also prisoner. Like that, because God takes the form of a boar or a pig, so he has become the pig. No, that's a very offensive conclusion. President or prime minister doesn't become prisoner because he has entered inside the prison house. Still all his power, position, everything remains the same, even though he is inside. Sometimes you have seen, it is a very easy example to remember, when a prime minister or a defense minister goes to military, army, defense, maybe navy or maybe air force or maybe some other place, and they want to fly some flight or some special air force equipment, they want to fly it. That time you see they are wearing some uniform which the pilot or whoever wears. So now the conclusion is not that because the prime minister is wearing that uniform, he is in that form. Uniform. Form means a particular shape, the way you are looking. Oh, he has also become the employee of the Air Force. No. Krishna says, Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam. Krishna says that because I have taken the form of a human being, people think I have become the human being. They are mudha. They are foolish, less intelligent. They do not have sufficient intelligence because even though God takes a form of a Varaha, Varaha is a Sanskrit word for boar or a pig, God does not become the pig. God does not become the boar. God does not become a human being. God is God. God is not pig, but he has taken the form of a pig. The form is different from the pig animal. That we need to understand first of all. Your conclusion is, there is one criminal. What is his form? Human form. And here is a prime minister. What is his form? Human form. So prime minister is also criminal. See, this kind of a logics, these are all the fallacy of the logic. The form of a criminal is human. The form of a prime minister is human. That means criminal is also prime minister. Or reverse. Our prime minister is a criminal. Now, is it correct logic? So God has taken the form of a pig. That means every pig is God. Or God has become the pig. That's what unfortunately uneducated people do. Now they come to know, some monkeys will come. They say, see, Hanuman has come, they will say. Now, every monkey is not Hanuman. And you see some pig is going in some drainage. Somebody wants to, attack your religion or they belittle your see, your God is roaming around in the drain. That is not God. That pig is not God. Just like the criminal does not become prime minister and the prime minister does not become criminal just because both of them have human form. Similarly, God has taken the Varaha incarnation or the form of a pig or a boar. Doesn't mean that every pig becomes God and we should start worshipping every pig. That's what Western people, they start belittling our worship because people also do such things. They go and start worshipping every animal. Right? So every pig is not God. God, when He came in the form of a boar or pig. And that is Varaha. And Shastra say, what is the speciality of this Varaha form of Lord Narayana? This special form of Lord Narayana as Varaha is called Yajna Purusha. Yajna Purusha. And the body of the Varaha had many hair, right? We all have so many unlimited hair on our body. And what is this hair? This hair, some of the hair, when Varaha Deva came, they fell. They fell from his body. And when they fell on the earth, they became Kusha grass. Kusha grass. It's a grass. There is one grass called Kusha grass, or it is also called Darba. Darba or Kusha grass. So it is scientifically studied the special qualities of this grass that when the grahana, when the eclipse happens, at that time the Kusha grass is put in all the food because wherever that contamination happens, there you put Kusha grass or Darba grass, that contamination doesn't happen because it maintains the purity in that place. So wherever that purity is required while performing yajna or doing any activities where the purification is required, we are supposed to touch the Kusha grass. Kusha grass maintains that purity, and that purity of that Kusha grass comes from the body of the Varaha. But what the Varaha or pig in the material world we see, it is associated with filth, dirt. So that is why we should not wrongly conclude. Right? This form of a criminal in the jail, what does he do? He does rape, he does murder, he does robbery. The form of the prime minister, what he does, he is doing some social welfare activities. Both are different. We should not misunderstand like this. So Yajna Purusha means 100% pure person. Yajna means pure. Yajna Purusha means a personality, and personality of 100% purity. 100% purity and 100% unlimited God it is. So this is the background of Varaha Deva. He's a supreme Lord, absolute reality, the truth, Param Satya appeared for Dharma Samsthapana. Yada yada hi Dharmasya. Why does Varaha Deva appear? Varaha Deva appeared to establish Dharma. Whenever there is any discrepancy, Abhyutthanam Adharmasya. Utthana means rise. Abhyuttana means predominant rise. So much of adharma. What do you mean by adharma? Adharma means the order of this universe. That is the Dharma means order in the universe. There is a certain order, like the traffic. What do you think that traffic police is doing standing there? Maintaining the order that you should travel in the left side only. You should stop at the red signal. You should go only when the green signal is there. You should maintain the speed. This maintaining, they are maintaining. That means that order. In the traffic, there is certain order. Drive left side, drive at this speed, stop at the red signal. This is all called order. And order always exists for a particular purpose. There is a purpose. What is the purpose of the traffic order? Safety of the people. First and foremost is safety, the smooth movement of the vehicles. So these are the order of traffic. Like that, there is an order in the universe. In the creation of the God, there is a certain order for a particular purpose. And what is that purpose? The purpose is we are supposed to purify ourselves from the contamination of the material world. And what is that contamination? The contamination is called kama, lust. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, and because of which we are stuck in the material world. And this order God has created so that by following that order, we become purified and we become eligible to go back to God and be with God, be with Krishna and be happy. And when you follow this order, there is happiness. Even in the material world. Like when everybody follows the traffic order, there is happiness. What does it mean? Happiness means everybody is safe. Everybody is able to move. There is no jam, all that. So like that, Krishna says Dharma. Dharma means order in the universe. Krishna comes to, first of all, set that order. Secondly, Krishna also comes when somebody is trying to disturb that order. So why did Varaha Deva come? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. There was somebody trying to disturb that universal order that Krishna had set. Lord Narayana had set through Brahmaja. So that was the demon Hiranyaksha. There are two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. What is the name Hiranyaksha? Hiranya means the gold or money or wealth. Aksha means eyes. So literally, what does it literal meaning is? Golden eyes. But actually that is not the real meaning. It means that somebody whose eyes is on the gold. Is the biggest gold digger. In today's world, if you use the word gold digger, this person is a gold digger. It's a very negative meaning. No? Gold digger means what? You want to exploit somebody for some personal agenda. So he is the oldest and the most infamously famous gold digger, Hiranyaksha. So what was he doing? For his sense gratification purpose, he and his brother Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, in an unauthorized way, they had occupied the universe, occupied this earthly planet, and they were exploiting the earth to the extent of, for sake of gold. Because if you have gold, you control the earth. If you have money, you control the world. If you have more and more money, means like we know today, the richest country dominates the whole world. So the wealth or the money always makes you powerful. So this demon, Hiranyaksha, so he was digging the gold, accumulating so much gold, looting the gold from people. That's why he was called Hiranyaksha. His all attention is only on the gold or money or wealth. So they did so much mining, so much of digging of the gold. So much so that the earth was displaced from its orbit. Earth is rotating, revolving around sun or whatever in the solar system or in the cosmic universe in its orbit. And the earth was displaced from its orbit. See, to that extent, today there is a lot of talk that environment is getting disturbed, and there is so much of pollution, and people are polluting and destroying our nature, environment like that. So these were those so-called ancient industrialists, demoniac industrialists, who displaced the earth. They exploited the earth to the extent of earth was displaced from its orbit. So now earth exists for a reason. Earth is a place for all of us, for the human being to come to, in our life, to follow dharma and to follow certain way of life, so that you get purified, and at the end of your life you go back to Godhead. And this fellow, this Hiranyaksha, he created the disturbance through his activities. And then Lord Brahma offered prayers, and the Lord appeared in the form of Varaha. Always when there is a disturbance, the Lord comes, as promised in Bhagavad Gita. So all the devatas, they're all different administrators. They are supposed to, devatas are like this traffic police. What is their job? Already there is order. Already there is dharma. And their job is to make sure that everybody is able to follow, provide facilities, make sure that people are following that dharma. Like traffic police make sure that the traffic signal works, and stand there and facilitate people. Sometimes they'll stand there and they say, you stop, let that side direction people go, like that. So devatas are supposed to make sure that the dharma established by God, or the order established by God, is being maintained. And sometimes, there will be rash drivers. They won't care for this traffic police. There are examples when traffic police tried to tell some rash drivers, they drove in such a way that this traffic constable or a police, he was on the bonnet of the car, and that fellow was still driving, trying to stop them or trying to tell them. For that, they didn't listen. The traffic police, the police was on the car, on the bonnet of the car, and for 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, he was dragged. We hear all this thing. So there are people who want to break the order, who do not care for the universal order, and they are called demons in the Vedic literatures. In Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, Lord Krishna says that devatas are those who are interested, inclined to follow the order, universal order set by the God. Demons are those who are not interested to follow any order of the cosmic universe. They want to disobey that order. They want to break the order. They don't care for that order. Like there are rash drivers who do not care for the traffic order. So this Hiranyaksha is one such rascal demon who wants to break the universal order. So when the devatas tried to convince him, tried to negotiate with him, tried to make peace with him and tell him that how important it is that he has to maintain the order in the universe so that the universe doesn't get disturbed, the Mother Earth doesn't get disturbed, he didn't care for them. In fact, he attacked on them. He waged war against them. Then they all came and took shelter of Lord Brahma. Please come and save us. And then Lord Brahma, he prayed to the Lord, and Lord Narayana, Lord Krishna, to save this situation, to re-establish the universal order, appeared as Varaha Deva. Appeared in the form of Varaha, the boar incarnation. And as soon as the Lord came, he came and challenged this Hiranyaksha. He said that, you are not following? Then you come, fight with me. You defeat me, you challenge me. If you defeat me, then you can do whatever you want to do. Now you cannot do as long as I am there. So then Hiranyaksha became very angry because he was thinking he is the big Don. He is a big goon. Nobody can challenge me. There are some people, they think they are so big. And if you go and ask them, they'll take their gun and try to shoot you. They try to hit you. There will be some goons because they think they're beyond any question. So this Hiranyaksha also thought that he is on big Don. And so when the Lord Vishnu came as Varaha, he told that you have to keep the earth in its orbit and you cannot exploit the Mother Earth, like this. And then this demon got very angry because he thought the earth is under our control now. Earth is under possession, my possession. So this is a demonic mentality. The demons think possessing is equal to ownership. This is a demonic thinking. Possessing is equal to ownership. Like for example, let's imagine currently we are in this house. We are in the possession of this house. Does it mean we have become the owner of this house? No. Possessing is not equal to ownership. Let's say I'll give my mobile to you and say, keep it with you, I'll take it later, like that. Now you are possessing my mobile. Does it mean you become the owner of that mobile? So nowadays, many people, the demonic people think like that. This is my land. This is my child, my son, my daughter. See, you are definitely in possession of that. You are a caretaker of that. That doesn't mean you are the owner of that. Who is the owner? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Krishna says, I am the supreme owner. So that's why real owner came and challenged this false owner. You cannot behave like this with the earth. And he got angry because he was thinking he has become the owner now. Then he started fighting. So the fight went on between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev. And the Varahadev thought, I will play with him. Sometimes, the Lord wants to play also. That is called Leela. Leela means the God rejoicing in its godhood. So then he was playing around. This Hiranyaksha took his gada, the mace, and he was attacking God. And God, he was playing around. So in order to make that Gunda, that Hiranyaksha, that demon, to believe that yes, I'm more powerful than God, God looked like he went back. Then the demon thought, you see, I'm overpowering. I'm now powerful. And the Devatas also got scared. What is this? God is looking like getting defeated. And then Brahmaji offered prayers by seeing the Ajnana of this Devatas. Brahmaji is, Lord Brahma is in full knowledge. He knows God is supreme. Nobody can defeat him. He said, my dear Lord, please don't play. Please don't play. We are all scared. Please quickly finish. And Brahma reminded, this Abhijit Lagna, Abhijit Muhurta, it's a very auspicious time. It's getting over. And if other Muhurta comes, the demon becomes even more powerful. So please finish. Then the Lord said, okay. And then, because till then, this demon Hiranyaksha taking his gada, his mace, right? He was attacking God. And nothing was happening to God, right? Then finally, Lord Varaha, with his hand, he slapped. He gave one slap. That's all. He immediately fall dead. Just see the power of God. In one slap, that great demon Hiranyaksha fell dead. Not that saying next something happened there. One slap, he fell dead. Then everybody offered prayers to Lord Varahadeva. So the Lord Varaha lifted Mother Earth from, it is said, ocean. So many people make fun of this. Oh, ocean is in the earth. How can earth be in the ocean? All see this kind of incoherent imagination is there in your religion. It is because these people do not read properly. It is not saying the ocean, this ocean. There are multiple oceans in the universe. And there is an ocean called Garbhodaka ocean. The causal ocean. That ocean is the from where the creation happens. Right? Like there is something called nebula. There is something, all those things. So this earth was displaced and kept there. In the nether waters, in the causal ocean, right? So from that ocean, the Lord Varaha, with his tusk, there is a tusk, the Varaha, especially the wild boar, the boar that you see in the forest, it has two tusks. From that tusk, the Lord enjoyed lifting Mother Earth. You can see in the deity of Varaha, how he has lifted the Mother Earth. And he positioned it. And he actually replaced that Mother Earth on her orbit. And when the two tusks pierced Mother Earth, wherever those two tusks, the two rivers came out. Two rivers came out. one river is one tusk where it appears is called Tunga. Another place where another tusk appears, the Bhadra. So the river called Tunga Bhadra came from the Varaha Deva lifting the Mother Earth. So that's how the Varaha performed this pastime of re-establishing the universal order by coming as Varaha Deva, teaching lesson to all the gundas and demons that you cannot disturb the cosmic universal order that I have established for your personal exploitation, for your personal sense gratification. So in this way, the Lord came, established the universal cosmic order by keeping the earth on her orbit and helping the Devatas to do their job, to maintain the Dharma and helping the Lord Brahmaji. So Srimad Bhagavatam says there are 2 times that Varaha incarnation happened. The Lord came as Varaha 2 times. One is called Shweta Varaha, other one is called Rakta Varaha. Both are referring to color. Shweta means white, Rakta means red. So when the Lord came once as Varaha, that time this demon Hiranyaksha was not there. Just that when Lord Brahma was doing creation, Srishti or creation, he was thinking, oh, I want to do creation on the earthly planet. But the earth has got displaced from its orbit and it has gone into the the water in the Netherlands. That is Garbhodaka ocean. Right? So when he was thinking now how to get the earth back on its orbit, so the Lord appeared as Varaha Deva from the nostril of the Lord Brahma and brought the earth, kept it back on its orbit to help the Lord Brahma in his creation. So that is Shweta Varaha. Other one is Rakta Varaha, came to fight with Hiranyaksha for sake of protecting Mother Earth, Bhudevi. So these are the 2 Varaha incarnation that appeared. And this is from the cosmic time scale we need to understand. Because the cosmic time scale is very huge time scale. Not from our today, yesterday. When did it happen? It happened in the Brahma's time scale. When Brahma woke up, because every day when he wakes up, he does creation. So in his time scale, early in the morning, it happened. This. So Srimad Bhagavatam that describes this Varaha pastime. So it tells the Brahma's time scale it tells. So Brahma's 12 hours is divided, right, by 70, how many manvantaras? 71 manvantaras. So in that 71 manvantaras, the first manvantara, what? The Varaha appearance happened, the one Varaha appearance. And this Varaha, another time Varaha came, it happened in the present Manvantara, which is 7th Manvantara. Present Manvantara is called Vaivasvata Manvantara. The first Manvantara is called Swayambhuva Manvantara. So this Manvantara happened. So that is how Srimad Bhagavatam describes. So by remembering these pastimes of the Lord and hearing of these pastime of Lord, it brings all auspicious. It brings all fortune, success, victory, because anything connected to Lord is all auspicious. So we are very fortunate today celebrating the appearance day of Lord Varaha, who came to protect the universal order. May bless all of us also, so that we also follow the universal order and become dear to Lord. And so that by following that universal order, we go back to Lord and be with the Lord in his association. So we'll stop here. Shri Varaha Deva ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Which one? This one. So we'll offer a special prayer to Lord Varaha Deva. Please repeat word by word. Vasati, Dashana, Shikare, Dharani, Tava, Lagna, Shashini, Kalanka, Kaleva, Nimagna, Keshava, Dhrita, Sukara, Rupa, Jaya, Jagadisha, Hare, Vasati Dashana Shikhare, Dharani Tavalagna, Shashini Kalanka, Kaleva Nimagna, Keshavadhrita, Shukara Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Here it is said, Keshava, Lord Keshava, Krishna, Narayana has come as Shukara Rupa. Shukara is another Sanskrit word indicating Varaha. Shukara Rupa in the form of Shukara. Keshava Dhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Who is that? Oh, it is not a pig. That's what Hiranyaksha thought. Oh, pig has come. But actually it is Jagadisha. Isha means the master, the Lord, controller of the Jagat. Jagadisha. Jagadisha, the controller of the whole universe, has come in the form of the boar, Shukara. So when Lord Brahma offered prayers, the Hiranyaksha was confused. He thought, why this Brahma is talking to this pig? Because these atheistic demons, rascals, they never understand the God. They always have misunderstanding about the God. So Brahma, when he was started offering prayers, he started thinking, Arey, what is this? Brahma has also become fool number one. He's offering prayer to some pig. Actually, Brahma Janati Brahma. Who is Brahma? Why he is called Brahma? He is called Brahma because he knows the Brahman. Brahman means the truth. The one who knows the truth is called Brahman. Because he knows the truth that he is the Lord. So he was offering prayer. The one who doesn't know the truth is a demon. Or he has a misunderstanding about the truth. Right? So here it is said, Keshava, Jagadisha, the Lord of the universe, has come as Shukara Rupa. So we are not worshipping some pig out of some foolishness and ajnana. Some people have come and started worshipping pig. No, we are worshipping the Lord of the universe, Jagadisha, ultimate truth, Satyam Param, who has come in the form of the boar, Shukara Rupa, to re-establish the universal cosmic order which is required for our liberation, moksha. Shri Varaha Deva ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.